Hello there, welcome to the 35th episode of The Daily Shed, and today goes a bit more in-depth. I'm talking about arranging today, and I'll be doing more lessons like this. Today I'm talking about Shenandoah, the folk song, and how I go about arranging this. And this is a song that I've played myself many times. There's one key that I usually play it in. I do change keys sometimes, but usually I play it in a key. But what I wanted to talk about was how I go about choosing a key when I'm going to arrange a song. So first, Shenandoah, I'll show it to you in the key of C. First, when I'm arranging, first thing I do is just figure out the basic chord progression, and then I figure out how that works. I figure that out in a couple different keys. So in the key of C, it goes C and then F, then C, then A minor, F, G, and C. So there's basically 4 chords. So I often start out in the key of C. It's a pretty easy key on the guitar. In this case, let's play the melody in C. So if you know the song. So in the key of C I can see right away, okay, there I've got kind of a funny stretch there. You know, it's not the easiest thing to do. Then over the F. That's not the easiest thing to do. You can do it, but it's a little awkward to go up there. And the main thing that I do is play the bass note and the melody note. I'll add some other chord notes if they're obvious, but usually when I'm still figuring out which key to play in, I'm really looking at bass note and melody note. So it makes sense at the end, but sort of the second part of the main. That's sort of a lot of movement around. You know, switching my hands, going up here high. So when I'm picking a song, especially if I want to be able to solo over it, have some flexibility there. C is not my first choice. Then I go on. I'll try out D. So the key of D. It's D, G, B minor, A, and D. So the melody now goes. I'm going up high, but I do have the open D string to help me. Then, so there I've got the B minor and the melody note kind of up high. So that's not the easiest thing to do. I've got the B again, this time with an A over the B. So D wouldn't be my first choice either, mainly because of that high melody note over B, and then also there over the B. It's a little hard to get your hand wrapped around easily, and especially again, thinking about soloing, I'd rather not have the B in there. Move on the key of E. So in the E, we've got E, we've got an A, a B, a C sharp, and the E. Now I already know C sharp is another chord that doesn't have an open string with it, so when I'm soloing, that's sort of an extra thing I have to think about. But let's see how the melody sounds. I mean, it sounds nice, certainly. Then we get to that C sharp and B. So when I'm soloing, you know, even though the key sounds nice, especially with E, the nice E on the bottom, having a C sharp and also a B7 there, that's sort of a lot to think about. Again, because I don't have an open string to rely on, and going up here pretty high on the melody. I think that wouldn't be my first choice ever, either. Now I usually stick with the, you know, sort of the obvious guitar keys. I'm going to go on to the key of G. So see how the melody is here. So the chords are G, C, D, E minor, and G. So already I know, okay, those are, you know, very common chords and certainly easy to solo over. So the melody here. Okay, I like that a lot. And this is actually the key that I almost always play the song in, because I can stay down there in first position. I've got a lot of open strings to work with. You know, I've got a G, I've got the D, I've got the E. I do have the C in there, which, you know, I don't have an open string, but it's pretty easy to get around in a C. The other thing I like about this is that the melody stays pretty low, so I can also go up an octave pretty easily. Wow. Like that, I can actually go up an octave. So I like that a lot, and that's why I settled on that key ultimately. I want to show you one more key. I'll also try out the key of A. So in the key of A, got A, D, E, and F sharp. And F sharp again, no open strings with that, and not the easiest to get to. John Prine says that the key of G is the people's key. I love that. Thanks, David. That's great. Key of G often works. I'll show you Shenandoah in A. So far, not bad. Okay, that's also not bad. You can also play that down in first position. You do have the F sharp there, which you have to fret. But other than that, it's a pretty nice key. And this also you could do pretty easily up an octave. You have to go way up here. But you have the open D string. And you get here, you have a F sharp, so that gets a little hard. So A isn't bad either. So for G, yeah, David, G is what I usually do it in, and it really is sort of the easiest arrangement. I will write this out sometime. So again, G is what I settled on for myself, especially because this song, I leave it very open to interpretation and improvisation as I'm going along. I really like G. Yeah, the melody goes up high if you're in D, but on G, here I'll do it my version of it slower. Sorry, just let me turn my camera on here. G, then C, then E minor, D, G, still in G. You also have a lot of melody notes on open strings, which is nice. Yep, very, very simple. And again, you can go up an octave pretty easily. I just do, for that I do a C bar chord with the melody note up above. So that's what I really like in G. Yeah, it's great. I agree, David. I really like it in G. Again, the open strings are so nice to rely on. And G doesn't always work. There's a lot of songs that G doesn't work that well just because of where the melody sits. But this particular song, I find that it works really well. This is actually another great exercise. I'll write it down, David. I promise I will. I'll tab it out. It's a great exercise when you're learning a song, especially a simple folk song where you know the melody pretty well, to go through in different keys and actually figure it out. Even if you just figure out the first part of it, it's a nice exercise to do it, to figure out, you know, the chords that you need, and then the melody, wherever it might be. Or in D. So it's a nice exercise for me, actually, to go through. It really helps kind of open the guitar up, because you're thinking about, more than thinking about, hey, awesome, Josh. Yeah, you're thinking more about the notes themselves, rather than thinking about, you know, being in a box of a scale, or bar chords or something like that. You're really thinking just about notes, about hitting melody and bass notes. So arranging, I've always found to be a really great way just to know the guitar better, to really get around it. And you need a lot of knowledge to be able to arrange, so it kind of works together. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to arrange, as you guys probably know, because I arrange so much stuff. So it's a nice challenge, and it's a great learning experience too. So yeah, I guess I'll just wrap up by saying that when you're arranging a song, picking the key is the first thing, the most important thing. Because really, if you pick the wrong key, it's kind of like if you're singing and you pick a key too high, like it gets really difficult when you go up high. Cool, David. Glad this is interesting. So I definitely go through the entire song when I'm arranging and picking the key, and also I think about soloing, any kind of improvisation I might do, and try to free myself as much as I can with open strings in the bass especially, but also open strings in the melody, as with Shenandoah. So many open strings. All open strings. Those are all really nice, because then you can, move your bass around, your bass note around, or use harmonics. Things like that are really nice. So it's a good step for me. I'll definitely be doing this in the future with other songs too, showing you how I go about arranging them. So hope this is useful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Very much appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching.